My name is Tyler, and I'm a social studies teacher in Dallas ISD.
Uh, Hi, my name is Patrick Cooney, and I'm a teacher and a coach at the Cy-Fair Independent School District.
Hello, my name is Shelly Canada. I'm currently a high school biology teacher with Greenville ISD.
Yes, I've considered leaving public education in a nutshell because the day-to-day stress that teachers endure building relationships with children and their families has become not worth the salary. And quite frankly, if I didn't have too much time invested in TRS, I would probably be seeking other employment.
I have considered leaving public education multiple times. The reason that I didn't in those early years was because of the influence my father, who was a professor of education, teacher, administrator at both high school and middle school levels, and then back to professor of special education in his later years. He always told me that I would be a teacher, and I always told him, no, I won't. But there I was, and here I am. His advice to me to finding the best school to teach at was to find a super organized and supportive administration. He told me without that, I would not be happy. I would not feel supported. And that was true with most of the all of the districts that I taught at from first year until last school year.
This is my 10th year teaching, and I have been considering leaving probably since year 4 or 5, but for a variety of reasons. It's usually systemic reasons. It's usually the system is unresponsive to the needs of teachers, to the needs of students. There's too much politics and money that doesn't actually serve the needs of kids. I think we're doing it all wrong. I think that we have other wrong priorities. I think that we're not preparing kids for a future, and we're honestly, in many cases, damaging them in the process. Um, it hurts me deeply because this is a profession that I love. This is a calling, a meaningful way to give to society around me, and I feel like it's been stolen from me. I feel robbed of the opportunity to do what I know I do best and what I do well for the people I care about because of these systemic factors of standardized testing, the length of the school day, the micromanaging, the failure to adequately respond to behavior in a humane and meaningful way, being led by people who I don't actually think care about kids, despite the fact that they gaslit you into saying that you should do things because you care about
I
kids.
did resign from my position in 22, 23, but I was contacted by my current district. And after speaking with them, I could just hear all of my father's prerequisites for choosing a school being answered. So I left the idea of venturing out to a different career to take a chance with my current district. And I will tell you that my experience from the beginning of this school year until now has been the absolute best teaching experience that I have encountered. I have a extremely organized and supportive administration, not just regarding student behavior in classroom, but also mentorship that is amazing, and the ability to have a little bit of freedom of how I teach my students.
The state of Texas has not provided adequate resources for me or my students to thrive. Namely, the main resource would be a better salary. A content teacher who feels valued is an immeasurable positive influence to all the students that teacher talks to, whether it's in the classroom or in the hallway or on the athletic field. Teachers need to get paid more, period.
Teacher salary is also a huge obstacle in recruitment and retention of highly qualified teachers. I don't know how many teachers who I don't know many teachers who work a 40-hour work week. Teachers stay after school from anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour or two on a regular basis. Many teachers also take home work on evenings and weekends in order to complete their weekly job and prepare for lessons for the upcoming week. The majority of us work 45 to 60-hour work weeks without additional compensation. In addition to not being compensated for the extra hours that we have to complete in order to be fully prepared for our students, we lose time with our family members if we're working in the evening and on weekends. As a single mom, that is a big problem for me because I find several times a week I put my kid on Xbox so that I can do work. And on weekends, I don't find time for us to go and enjoy the outdoors.
When I think about what teachers in Texas need, let's change the length of the school day. Let's invest more in trades and certifications so that kids can graduate with economic agency and the ability to pursue a career that is meaningful for them and helps them support their families. I think about how during COVID, teachers were called heroes, nurses were called heroes, and now educators, medical providers, people like that are the villains of society, and they're the scapegoats and they're the fall people. We've got it all
A
wrong.
final thing that I feel is important and that I would tell Texans to be aware of is the shortage of special education teachers. Many special education students aren't receiving the allotted amount of minutes of in-class support due to this shortage. Because of that, I personally have multiple students whom I'm responsible for not receiving enough attention from their special education teachers to be able to succeed in my class. Don't get me wrong, it's not the special education teacher's fault. It is that they are overloaded, short-staffed, and they simply just don't have time to make it to every kid that's in their caseload. That, to me, is another huge issue that needs to be dealt with here in the state of Texas.
One thing that all people should know about Texas public schools is that the vast majority of people who work in school buildings, teachers, administrators, custodians, food service employees, even bus drivers, paraprofessionals, are genuinely conscientious human beings who are looking to better the lives of the students that are in their care. Policies made at school districts, and for school buildings seem to have very little regard for the people that work in those buildings.